I wanted to touch base on my quotes on today. Plug and fuel cell were up a nickel. Vaxart was staying green. Virgin Galactic had a good day. They went up. They finished the day pretty strong. They were one of my strong finishes. I was watching TNXP Pharmaceuticals. I wanted to touch base on them and put some information out on them. And then I want to go back down here on the bottom and touch base on BSSP. They kind of finished the day strong. TNXP Pharmaceutical Holding Corp. When you look at them back in June 29th, 2012, they're at 20,000. You know, they went from 20K down. Now they're building back up. So looking into the future, 10, 20 years, this could be a stock that, with everything going on with all the pandemic and everything around the world, they might have a chance of coming back up and coming back through some stuff. TNXP Pharmaceutical Holding Corp, February 11th, 2021, they were at $2. So looking at November of 2021, going into 2022, by March, you might see another increase on them. They have room to run. They're staying at a good market where they don't stay high above the market. They're keeping in line with where the market's at and rising up as they go. They don't have a dividend yield, but in the future, who knows? They have a very high market cap at $252 million. They have room to definitely increase that if they start to run and release some products and stuff that they've been working on. With their volumes are pretty solid. Their next expected earnings is on November 7th of 2021. And that's where I said from November of this year in 2021, hanging in 2022. You never really know what the stock could do, but this could be one that could be a 10 times play. This shows their earnings so far. And so far, they've been underneath their marks, but they've been rising. So if they continue to rise up, that'll be a good thing for them. This shows when they were founded in 2007. Has a small employee count that it's showing when I looked it up, but that could increase too as they have new facilities and new products and stuff coming out. You never know what could come out of this one. One that I watched this morning, their earnings reported, Bohr Drilling. So with Bohr, they had hit a point where it was 5:14 a.m. when I looked at their chart on 8:31, and they were up there. Their volume was already moving before hours. So like I said, they just reported their earnings. I would probably see this one climb back up to $1 pretty soon. When I looked at BSSP, it was about 11:20 a.m. They had kind of hit this wall, and didn't really go back to charts until later in the day. And when I checked back, they held solid at the end of the day, but it was a slow volume day. This is one of those that you had to look at that on some places you could close your position, but you couldn't necessarily buy. So on some of the places where people were buying, they couldn't buy, but they could only close. So the volume on this has slowed down, but it seemed like a lot of people were holding around that 9-10 mark. No one was really dropping. I didn't see any 8s come up on a chart. They finished the day on a volume of 56 million. I caught this where they're showing a merger acquisition, and they created their Twitter, trying to become a little bit more transparent, maybe get information out to stockholders a little bit faster. This might come into play in future days on Twitter. Definitely might bring a following, might bring more people in to buy. We'll see where this heads to. Now, if you're bullish, it might mean that something big is coming. But that's a big question mark. So the bears are trying to eat it up right now, trying to push it back down. So will it go down towards that floor of 0006, or will it stay above the wall that it's at right now? That's kind of the big question. I think when you look at BSSP in this yellow box down here, are they going to do another pump and dump, or are they going to pump up and stay up, or are they going to drop back down? A lot of questions with this one, but I could definitely see this one maybe pumping again, and if it does, maybe you hit that 0015, and maybe it can build another wall and keep on going. On the other hand, like I said, it might take and pump up a little bit and then fall off here in September. So this one, we're waiting to see what happens and what comes from this. If they make their all their filings and get everything in and get all their financials updated, you might see a hefty return on this play eventually. And when you look at things where people want things in the market, this is definitely something that's meets the criteria of people where people could buy into this maybe a little bit more than oil. They might see this as more beneficial. Other people might see oil and other stuff more beneficial. So when you look at EFIR, some of the other ones, which ones are they going to put more money into a merger? It's hard to really say right now. This is, once again, where I was showing that pump or dump, This is, are they going to go back up there? Or are they going to come down and find a new wall even lower? It's hard to say. The move of the day, though, I give the WTII. They went up 0014. And I think with this one, you might see a wall get built around that 0.013. The reason I kind of think that is they're on this rise right now, and I would say maybe in September here, they're either going to pump up and dump down, or they're going to continue to pump up. If they pump up, I would expect them to go to 0.015, maybe build a wall above that. Reason is 2021 to 2025, the global atmospheric water generator. The market is supposed to be 3.9 billion. That's 1 billion a year. So how big of a chunk can they take out of that? We'll find out. On this is showing their lows, but when you look at their lows for the last 3 months, they've definitely been able to come up through resistance and keep building that wall above resistance each time and continuing to pump up. So if they continue their pump up, I would say that they're heading towards that 0.015 to 0.02 to build the next wall. If they build that next wall, then you could see them easily get back to their 0.043, especially if they get some big contracts in. So the more sales you see, the more revenue growth that they put out, you could definitely have a pretty good future with them. I definitely think this is a long hold to kind of see where this thing goes. With WTII, they came out, but if their revenues go up, you might be able to see this one hit, 10 cents in a couple years. With WTII, this kind of shows that heading towards that next wall. So if they build a wall where they are right now, they're definitely above that 0.013. I would think that they're going to stay above that 0.0135. This will probably be their dip right now. This is probably the time to buy in. They'll probably go up towards that 0.015. Will they continue, or will they do another pump and dump back down a little bit? I would really watch this one, but I definitely think if you're holding on a long play, it's going to continue on trajectory going upward. At the time of making this video, it was like 11:46, but they were green for extra hours. So looking at tomorrow, I would expect them to be going up You might see them at 0.0143 or something when the market opens. They might start to pump up a little bit. So if you're looking to buy in on this or sell off, depending on your position, this is kind of that make or break on this stock too. So I definitely think the market's there for heading into the future. If you're looking at going towards 2027, 2030, you hold this on a long play, you'll probably do really well. If you're looking for something on the short end, I would still say that, 2 to 3 years, you're still going to see a good return come out of this one. So if they hit big oil fields, and with all the disasters happening, new infrastructure coming in, if they get a new infrastructure deal, you might definitely see a good play. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a blue-collar worker. I'm just paying it forward, putting information out there. Make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you do your research. Make sure you check. And make sure you just research as much as you can. Learn about these stocks. And if you invest in something, make sure you stay up on that investment. Make sure you invest in yourself. Invest the time in yourself. And definitely have some fun along the way just learning. So, hope everyone has a good day. Have a good September 1st.